Introduce you to Ace. Ace, let's get money.
Hey, what's going on? We are here. This is episode 6 of Cash Flow with Indika, Ace Cash Pal, the certified public accountant. Man, you guys better be prepared and better be ready. We got a special episode. We got Tom Guttenberger, the CEO of Wazoo, and the new app,
Style Swiper.
the Style Swiper, all right? So if you got some style, then you better download it, all right? First, I want to give a special shout out to my business partner, Pettis. Go to teampettis.com. Also, holla at my man, Wolverine Solid X. Okay? My producer, my executive director. Man, if you need anything video, you need to holla at this guy, all right? So that leads me into my cash tip, all right, guys? What you need to do is, if you're out here and you're trying to build your business, you need to invest in yourself. Tom, what would you say is I know you went to U of M, but what kind of resources or what kind of time do you spend and money do you spend on making sure that, your business is right and you're right as personally?
Oh, that's 100% of the time, absolutely. But in order to get everything right, you just take it one step at a time, be prepared, and be positive.
But you've done a lot of traveling, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
And you would say, as you've been around the world, you've seen things that have made you grow as an entrepreneur.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you see the different ways of doing business, but everywhere you need to be aware of the customer and delivering them value.
All right, so that's international cash flow. All right, guys. Now, you may be local, you may be in your state, you may be across the U.S., or you might start selling across, the country. I know that my wife, she was our guest last 2 weeks ago. She actually gets her products from China and sells them here in America. You may be on the other end where you're making a product here and you're selling it in another country. It all comes down to investing in yourself, investing time in yourself, and making sure that you're building your business. One special thing that I'm going to be doing between June 1st and July 31st, I'm going to get 100 entrepreneurs to sign a pledge that they're going to do $1 million in revenue. This is going to get everybody focused and also bring people together. If you want to be part of that, just make sure that you hit me up. I'm on Instagram at DikaPile, or you can email me at ahpile@gmail.com. All right, guys? So make sure that, you are staying focused, you're investing in yourself, and when we come back, we're going to be talking to Tom about his new app. All right?
Get money.
Wazoo Mobile Technologies, connecting businesses and customers at a fraction of the price. Wherever you may go, quickly and easily find and compare deals and businesses with Wazoo. Now with over 20,000 downloads. Set preferences and see the best deals, or see all the new hair and fashion styles on Style Swiper. Browse for new hair and fashion styles, get directions to nearby salons who offer unique styles. Wazoo and Style Swiper from Wazoo Mobile Technologies. Available on the App Store and Google Play.
All right, welcome back. All right, I'm here with Tom Guttenberger, CEO of Wazoo. Tom, we want to talk about your path into entrepreneurship. What got you to say, I'm done with the day-to-day. I'm going to be a full-time entrepreneur.
So starting from when I was real young, I had a paper route since the time I was about 5 years old. So I had always liked the independence that brought me, and the way that you can sort of control your own destiny, be your own boss, have a little bit more flexibility. And to me, that is the name of the game, independence, and to be able to stand on your own 2 feet, right?
Right, and you do a lot of traveling too. So you're able to work almost anywhere, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So a lot of what we do is software development. So you can do that from anywhere on the planet, right? You just set up your computer, get on the Wi-Fi.
So what would you say? How many currencies have you gotten cash flow in?
Oh man, cash flow. That's a tough one, Ace.
At least some rubies. You got some rubies.
I got some currencies floating around, right? But obviously, to be getting the flow in these currencies, you got to establish yourself too. The company is registered in the United States and India, so there are some international exposures there, right?
Yeah. All right, and I mean, I'm sure people are interested in that, you know, the regulations, but like, you know, what led you to building your company internationally?
Sure. So it was a process that went into that. Originally, I worked with developers in India, and what I had noticed there was very inexpensive advertising costs. So we had initially launched the Wazoo product in Ahmedabad, India, where radio advertisements were a fraction of the price that they are here, and that's where we got our foothold and our traction on the Wazoo product. But unfortunately, we weren't profitable initially on that, which many tech companies aren't. So we decided to spin that out into the Style Swiper product, where now the economics of it, we're actually focusing here in the United States, specifically in Detroit first, where if we can build our base from here, it's still manageable acquisition costs for customers and users. So we plan to grow from here.
I like that. I like how you talked about you tried something, it didn't work, but you didn't give up.
Sure.
You said, you know what, let's take this same technology and see if we can make it work with something else.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, the technology was great and everything was functioning fine, but the business case wasn't as strong as what it was projected to be. So that's where you go back to the drawing board a little bit, you look at your assumptions, what was right, what was wrong, and then you reinvent yourself practically, right? So this is, we're stepping back up to the plate with the Style Swiper product, and so far as the reception's been really strong for it. So,
all right, kind of describe the Style Swiper app and also let people know how they can download it.
Sure. So basically how I would describe it very simply is it's like the Tinder for hairstyles, where very simply you swipe on the app. If you like the style, we'll connect you with a stylist offering that in your area. And from there we enable the same patented Wazoo billing method, that it's a pay per visit model rather than a pay per click advertising. So we think that that's very business friendly, and it really encourages them to promote their services for free initially, and they're only paying us when they actually get customers and revenues.
So what you're saying is hairdressers who want to generate more cash flow should definitely work with you.
Absolutely. I mean, we're going to be the premier hairstyling app in between 2 and 5 years. I am 100% confident of that.
I like that. I think starting in Detroit, like you've got a prime location. Women spend a lot of money on hair. Guys spend a lot of money on hair in Detroit.
I mean, I did today.
So, I mean, I think, and I think that's something that I want my audience to think about. He understands the market. And understanding the market is so big, is so important when you're talking about creating a business and generating cash flow. I think a lot of entrepreneurs, and this might have been the case with your first app, they have a great idea, but they don't have a market. But now you're working with the market.
Exactly. So I mean, there's a lot of pieces to put together here, right? So I mean, you may have a great product, you may have a great business plan, and you may have an understanding of what your market, how they would react to your product, but these are assumptions still. So you got to try some things. If it doesn't work, try something else.
That's awesome. That's awesome, man. I'm glad that you didn't give up. You kept pushing, and I think that you're going to create a lot of value for both sides. I think you're going to create a lot of value for the people who want their hair done and the hairstylists as well.
Yeah, I mean, that's a big thing of what I'm trying to do, basically, is I want to be extremely business friendly and extremely customer friendly. So from the customer's point of view, you never have to pay anything to use this service, and from the business's point of view, there's only a small fee when the customer is actually visited. So it's very low risk service, and my entire aim here is to be extremely business friendly and to be able to grow that way, and I think that that's a good philosophy to have.
All right. Like, what kind of marketing plan do you have outside of, maybe a social media push? Do you plan on going to hair exhibits or hair shows?
Yeah, so I mean, one of the main things that we're doing right now is we're initiating beauty school partnerships where, with unaccredited beauty schools, we're allowed to establish a partnership with them where they're able to actually share some of our initial revenues and in exchange for referral fees, because something that's common in the hairstyling industry is that once you have your established client base, you know, what is the real value of an app like mine? Some might argue not a whole lot, right? But for these hairstylists who are just beginning, for them to grow their client base, this is an excellent opportunity for them to do it for free.
I mean, I can see the value for people who've been doing hair for 30 years and people who are just starting out.
Sure.
Especially because it's going to bring you new customers that you wouldn't get otherwise.
Yeah.
But in the essence of this show, which is cash flow, I see that there is and you mentioned the beauty schools. Now there's 3 different entities that are making money from this, and we're talking about the shift of the economy. We're shifting the economy. It's like it's a disruptor.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. That's the way that I consider it. We want to be Wazoo with Style Swiper as the main first product that we want to take to market. But Wazoo ultimately wants to be the leader in pay-per-visit advertising. We think that could be extremely disruptive, where I don't think that a lot of companies are seeing the pay-per-click. I think that a lot of people with physical locations at their business, the pay-per-click model isn't necessarily the best business model for them. So if they can get onto a service that would assure them actual visitors at their store location, we see that as a big improvement. And once we are able to disrupt in the beauty industry, it can be generalized beyond that. So, and then also to your point, we want to keep the incentives in there for our business partners, where we're going to make it extremely friendly for anyone who wants to partner with us, that everybody can get a piece of the pie, right? Yeah,
I think that's talking about negotiations, and maybe we'll go over that. Maybe we'll bring somebody that negotiates all the time into the show. But as you are going through your process of growing your business, you got to learn that every deal has to be a win-win. It has to be. You got to be getting something, and your customer has to be getting something. And the more you take on, the more people that have to win. The salon has to win. You know, Wazoo has to win. The beauty school has to win, and the person getting their hairstyle has to win. And I think that this is something that can happen because advertising is difficult. It's difficult. It's a hard business. People spend thousands, millions of dollars on advertising, and I think that, you know, people, and Facebook kind of, you know, has shown us the way is, man, there is a way to gain an audience and give them the products that they exactly want and they're looking for. So what will be like, and that kind of leads us in the next thing that we were talking about. Like, Zuckerberg has come under a lot of scrutiny when it comes to privacy. What are your feelings on that?
Yeah, so I think that it's a great concern of a lot of people for obvious reasons, because this central holding entity of all your history online, all your comments, everything, they have access to very private information. So there's been a big trend over several years of expanding the amount of data that would be available. Well, a lot of my companies actually do the opposite, and we would be eliminating a lot of this data. So it's actually a new startup that I'm looking at called Cabinet, where it would be a news discussion forum which essentially deletes all the data from users, where if they were to post something, we would analyze it, run it through the algorithms, store something, very general, nothing that could be abused, and then we delete the raw data. So it's gone for me, it's gone for the NSA, whoever is there, it's gone for everybody. It's invisible to everybody. So in this way, I think that the Cabinet startup will be an excellent discussion forum for news articles which will protect user privacy. And this is a general theme of all these companies that I'm running, is that rather than build up more data, we actually want to be deleting a lot of things, and in most of the ways that our software is built, it's very minimal.
I mean, I always think about that because as an entrepreneur, I'm thinking
you could be blackmailed by anybody, by the government, by Facebook itself. So if you care about your privacy, these are real concerns. Facebook may try to address them. Maybe the laws will try to address them. You know, Congress may pass something, like the European Union just passed the GDPR or whatever it's called. But as an entrepreneur, my philosophy is that if you can invent around a problem, that's a much better solution than legislating around a problem, because who's got time to read a 1,000-page law? And nobody does. So it's not a realistic solution, but our new startup called Cabinet should be a very, very pertinent solution to this. Yeah,
that's great. So what would be some tips, 3 tips that you would give to entrepreneurs, whether they're in, apps or if they're brick and mortar?
Yeah, no, I mean, any line of business, I think there are 3 pretty important things. First, if you can move forward every day, it doesn't matter if you move forward by an inch or a mile, you're still moving forward. So if you can do something positive every day, stay focused on your goal, that's number 1.
Okay.
Number 2, you need to be positive and you need to be ready for some ups and downs, because nobody in the history of business has ever had
I can attest to that.
Yeah, not every day is a great day, but if you can keep your mind stay focused on the final goal and being positive and believing in what you're doing, that's extremely important. And then number 3 is to definitely be customer centric. After all, no matter the business you're in, you're essentially serving people in some way or another. And if you can do them a great service and they're happy to interact with you, then that's going to be extremely beneficial.
I think that gets lost sometimes.
Yeah, it's the small details, I mean, and it's kind of a personal thing too, where there's some people that you personally don't want to interact with. You probably don't want to do business with that person, right? So it's very important to keep good relationships, I think, right?
Yeah, and I think that we got to understand that the customer is the one that has the cash, right?
If they're your customer, then you're asking them for something,
right? So if you want to generate cash flow, you got to go to the customer.
Yeah. And then provide them that win-win deal.
Exactly.
Because that's what the economy's built on. If you make enough win-win deals, then one day you wake up and
I was thinking about that the other day. I was thinking, why do people still go to fast food restaurants? Like, the prices are not even reasonable anymore. Like, a Whopper is $5.
There's been crazy inflation on fast food. I gotta say,
a Whopper's still $5, but you know what it is? The time.
Yeah, I mean, it's fast service. If
people don't want to sit there waiting, and so that's the win-win. Even though I'm getting a burger that probably should only cost me $2.50, I'm saving what I'm saving in time. And so I think it's the same thing with any business. You got to provide value for your customers, and I think it'll all work out. So I like that tip.
That's the bottom line, I think. If you're providing value and you're doing a good service, very important.
All right, man. So you got Wazoo, you got Cabinet, you got the Style Swiper. Kind of tell us what your 12-month, 5-year, and 20-year goals look like.
So I think that the revenue projections look best for a Style Swiper. So where I want to focus is there first. So a year from now, we would hope to have thousands of hairstylists using the Style Swiper product and be making revenue. 5 years from now, we want to have all the businesses expanded internationally as well. And 20 years from now, the end game looks like retirement, philanthropy.
Okay, great. And I think that the why behind the business is always important. And I think that a lot of people who start off as entrepreneurs, they want to give back. They want to give something. So I think that that's great.
Skip money!
Hey, welcome to Thinkers Co-working Spaces located on Jefferson and Chalmers. Hey, give us a call at 313-728-5662 or 313-850-3703. We have all the space that you need. Weddings, baby showers, meetings, you name it, we got it. We aim to please, or look us up at thinkerscoworkingspaces.com or at thinkthinkers.com. Thinkers, baby.
So we're gonna go straight into the secure the bag, and Tom can talk about some of this stuff, marketing. All right, I know that it seems like you got the best product in the world, but you got to get out in front of the people. You got to spend money on commercials. You got to spend money on photos, photo shoots. But you got to get that product in front of people. Ads, Google ads. What has been your experience with marketing?
Yeah, so we've had some success on Google and Facebook ads, but it's also important to hit people with other channels. So if you're able to secure a client list and contact those people directly, or even just go back to the old school where you're putting boots on the ground, visiting them personally, you're able to make that interaction, show them your product. This can always be a very effective way, although it is more time intensive, right? So we've tried a little bit of everything, and also, like you said, in order to scale these operations up, it does take some capital. So if the way that we're approaching this is that you experiment with several things, you see the results, and then when it comes time to invest more in any particular channel, you're able to ground your estimates with your prior experience. So you can do email marketing, text marketing, direct mail, cold calling, in-store visits. The list goes on and on. I mean, it is about that face time, and it is about being outgoing. And we all have places to improve. I think that I could be a little bit more outgoing in that way.
Yeah, I think there's always room for improvement. I just want to reference Grant Cardone, one of the sales leaders, and he has all types of training software and all types of different things available. One of his books is called 10X, where he talks about it's going to take 10 times as much effort as you estimated to hit your goals. Also, you should always be approaching things in that same manner where you got to do 10 times as much work. So you may think you only have to talk to 100 people, but really you maybe have to talk to 1,000 people. Or you may be thinking you have to work 10 hours, but really you got to work 100 in order to hit your goals. And I think that it's really important to understand that for you to really close deals and get in front of people, you got to make sure you market, and then you can secure the bag.
Yeah, now I've never heard that rule before, but I think it's very accurate. I mean, you can offer the customer a very compelling value, but sometimes it takes that second, third, fourth connection.
Exactly.
And in your mind, hey, this is slam dunk right now, but maybe that second, third, fourth effort, the customer really appreciates it, I think.
For sure. And I think that it's also important to know what clients you want. You know, if there's somebody out there that you know has to have your product, but they keep telling you, I don't have time, or they keep telling you, I'm busy, like, don't give up.
Exactly, right. I mean, there's going to be, potholes. We live in Michigan. So you just, you roll right over that thing, you're going to pave it out, get that bag, baby.
Get that bag, secure it. All right.
Skip money! Cash flow.
All right, guys, welcome back, and we're going to be talking about the celebrity and sellout in this segment. We're going to get right to it. So we're going to be talking about P. Diddy, Puff Daddy, Sean Combs, Mr. Ciroc. All right, so make sure you leave your comments below about whether or not you think Puff Daddy is a sellout or a celebrity. Just to give you some reference, he is going to be, or soon to be, one of the hip-hop's first billionaires. He dropped out of Howard University after his sophomore year to work for Uptown Records, where he founded, where he helped found Jodeci, Mary J. Blige, Then after getting fired, he started Bad Boy Records. Everybody knows about Biggie, was his biggest artist back in 95, 96. And after, Biggie's unfortunate passing, he had acts like Mace, The Lox. He helped out with artists like Lil' Kim. The guy has changed the R&B game, the rap game. And now, his big thing is the Ciroc. He still has artists like French Montana and Machine Gun Kelly. He has his own network, Revolt Network. So kind of, thinking about what Puffy has done. This guy, he even had a show where he had 2 shows. He had a Making the Band show where he made people walk to get some cheesecake. But then he also had a show where he had people trying to be his assistant. Remember, he had that guy with the umbrella. What was that guy's name? Bentley. Puff has been in media for almost 20 plus years, more than 20 years. But he's still at the top of the game, always at the top of the Cash King list, the Celebrity 100 list. Tom, as far as what you know about Puff, what do you admire about him, and what do you say is like kind of
I think you got to do a lot of right things over the course of time to make to $1 billion. Of
course.
There's a lot of things that can go wrong. I think the guy's got a great eye for talent and a good business mind.
Yes.
He showed the good sense of hiring my man Royce the 5'9" to write for him.
Right, he don't write his own rhymes, right? But he writes checks.
That's the important part, So, hey, those are investments too. Good investments in the right people, smartest investments you can make. So, hey, I'm not going to knock the hustle. I think that it's been a good run for him. Right?
I think that collaboration, right? That's what he does. He collaborates.
That's true.
Right? He gets in the studio and he puts guys like Stevie J, who's a fool. He takes guys like Stevie J, but he gets the most out of them. Yeah. Right? He takes guys like French Montana and gets the most out of them. Although
it's like you build your team and you need a role player, So some guys got to be the characters,
and somebody got to talk the business talk.
Oh, absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Somebody got to be able to go into the corporate offices and say what needs to be said and represent, hip hop, represent whatever, the culture. And so I think that Puff has done a good job of making sure that he represents the culture and making sure that hip hop is not something that people treat like a sideline thing. It's like, this is a big deal. And what we do, we making y'all a bunch of money, so you got to pay us,
Right, yeah, no, every team needs a general, and I think Puffy gets that done.
Yeah, so he's definitely someone that I admire. I've looked at his moves over the years, follow him on Instagram. But you can leave your comments below and let us know if Puff is a celebrity or sellout. All right, thanks. All right, man, this has been a great episode. I want to thank Tom for coming out and talking about, his experience as an international entrepreneur. We really do appreciate that. Tom, can you give our audience your contact info or how to get in contact with you or download your app?
Yeah, sure. So for hairstylists, you're going to want to download the Style Swiper Business app. And for normal customers, anybody who would be looking to change their style, maybe brainstorm for looks, you're going to want to download Style Swiper. That's the same for Google Play and the App Store. So that's the easiest way to get access to the free product. If you want to contact me personally, I'd be happy to talk. Email is hello@wazoomobile.com.
All right, man. So before we go, just think about how your business can affect people outside of America, and whether that's from a supplier standpoint or that's from a customer standpoint. Could you save money if you get your products from a different country, or is the product that you're creating or the service that you're delivering something that people may want in another country? Something that I've been mulling over is outsourcing, day-to-day activities. And so, maybe I can get a personal or virtual assistant. Whatever it is, change your scope. Think internationally and think about what you can do. I want to thank Tom for sharing this story because I think it's important to talk about the pitfalls as well as the rises, because you're going to have them. You're not going to go straight to the top. You're going to have times where things think that they're not going to work out, but guess what? You keep pushing, and you're going to see success. And then last, make sure that you are pushing your brand, marketing, getting out there, getting in front of people, getting on the web, creating content, similar to this show and what we're doing. And, again, if you want to be a guest on our show, just message me, or you can, leave a comment below, and we will get in contact with you, because I think it's important that in order for you to grow, people see your brand. Tom is taking advantage of it. Our other guests have, and so I want to leave you with that, and thank you again for watching. See you in episode 7.
Skip Monday!